Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell Pharaoh to let my
When the slave died, all we did was dig a hole, put a fence around it, bury him, and pile him up. It wasn't no preaching, no praying, no singing. And all Master would say was, he was a good Negro. He did his work on time, he did good, and he might go to heaven. He might. And we couldn't even shed a tear. Not one. Because all we was thinking about was that he was gone. He was in a place that we weren't. He was there. And we were still here. Slaving. Slavery was hell.
I expect y'all want to know my story. Did you happen to ask my father? No, can't ask him, because he's about beat to death. How about my mother? No, can't ask her. She was taken away from me when I was about 6 years old. I don't even know if my brothers and my sisters live. But I'll tell you, not for you, but for them. Because they's going to want to know us. They's going to know where we come from.
And I get to thinking, back on those slavery days, I want to rise on that this here chair and tell everybody about the harsh treatment us colored folk was given by those poor quality folk. My master, he was mean and cruel. I hate him. Oh, no, I hate him. The Father God condemned him to eternal fire. This I know for certain. Oh, even the cows and the horses on this here plantation was scared when he'll come down. His name was Jim Rankin. He lived on a plantation out in Marion County. Now, I was born and raised on his place. I expect I was about 12 years old during the time of the war. Old man Rankin, he treated us like animals. He'd say, niggas are meant to walk. And that's what I paid my money for him to do. Oh, man. He had 2 daughters and 2 sons and a poor wife. And they was just as scared of him as we was. Ain't no man in this world, meaning the whole Rankin. Oh, the way us niggas was treated then was awful. Old Master would beat and knock and kick and kill. He done everything in this world except eat us. Oh, one day he'd stand on his porch and he'd take his gun, and before a nigga could even say a word, he'd shoot him down. Oh, I knows it ain't right to have hate in your heart, but good almighty God, it's hard to be forgiven when I think of old Rankin. When the war come, Master, he was a captain of a regiment. And when he went away and stayed a year, he come back even meaner than before. Oh, the night before he was fixing to leave, he stand on side his porch to smoke his pipe, and someone snickered up behind him and shot him down 3 times. Oh Lord, he died the next morning, and we never know who died. I was just glad they shot him down. I don't remember nothing about no Jefferson Davis. Lincoln was the man that set us free. Oh, we even used to have a song we used to sing for that big general in the war. It went a little something like this. Free at last, oh, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I was free at last. Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, burden, burden. Oh Lord, God, raise them up higher, let them drop on down. Oh, raise them up higher, let them drop on down. Well, now, don't know the difference when the sun goes down. Oh,
I never had no white folks that was good to me. We all were just like dogs. And we had just about half enough to eat. And they whooped us all the time. Our days was a constant misery to us. I know many nigger slaves who said that they actually had a good time. But we never did. Seems hard, real hard. That, I can't say nothing good about none of my white folks. But I sure can't. Old master, he stayed drunk all of the time. I reckon it was because of his drinking. He was fetching mean. But he finally killed his old self, drinking. And I remember old mistress, she made us look at him in that coffin. Well, me and my sister just happened to catch each other's eye. And we laughed. Well, why shouldn't we? We was glad he was dead. Of course, old mistress, she whooped us. But she couldn't make us sorry that we laughed.
I laughed too, mean as it was. My master had a barrel with nails drove in it that he would put you in when he couldn't think of nothing else mean to do. He would put you in the barrel and roll it down the hill. And when you get out, you would be in a bad fix. But he didn't care. Sometimes he'd roll the barrel in the river and drown his slaves.
Now, baby, them Ku Klux was a pain. The patty rollers, they was one thing, but them Ku Klux, they done lots of devilment. I worked for a white man once who was Ku Klux. I didn't know it for a long time. One time he said, "Now when you fool around up there in my closet cleaning up, I want you to be real particular." Now I seen them rubber pants, what they be filling up with water. He must have had enough for about 100 men. Then his wife say one time, "Now, Talitha, don't you let on like you know what them things is."
I woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind, Lord, set on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. Hallelujah,
101 years old. Yeah. No, may not look like it, but you know what they say. When you live well, it all works out. But you know, when I was 28 going on 29, that's when the breaking up came. Yeah. See, I was a little different. I had a room built over the house where I stayed. And it was always good to me because I was one of their blood. Yeah. My brother and sister, they lived with the niggas. But, I mean, they was mostly nigger. The Carters told me never worry about them, though, because my mammy was of their blood, too. Huh? I didn't have to carry a pass when I would leave the gate. See, I wasn't like the other niggas. I mean, I had a hat, and it had a sign on it, and it said, "Don't bother this nigga, or they'll be hell to pay." Yeah. But I never had any complaints about my treatment. How be it was some of the other niggas would get in trouble. Yeah. Now, as long as I live, I minded my white folks what they told me. But I remember this one time. There was a nigga working in the field. And he was just working the field and jerking the mule. The old Mr. saw him jerking the mule. He went to me, gave me the gun, and he told me, "Go out there and kill that nigga." I was scared because I knew if I didn't do what old Mister said, that he would kill me. I didn't know what to do. I ain't never killed nobody, and I don't want to. That's what I said to him, and old Mister said, "You go out there and kill that nigga." So I went out to the field, and I told him, I said, "You know I'm supposed to kill you. But look, you come from here, you take this and you run. You leave here." But I knew I couldn't go back. So I left too. He dropped the reins of that mule, and we dropped to our knees and crawled under the fence, and we ran and left. Yeah. I knew that Mr. caught me, he was gonna kill me too. So yeah, I ran away. It was a long time ago. I hated to go. But today I was an old man. And I'm glad I didn't kill that man. And my hands ain't stained with no blood.
I'll be so glad when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. I'll be so glad when the sun goes down. When the sun goes down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. But I wanna lie down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. But I wanna lie down. I wanna lie down, baby. I wanna lie down. Wanna lie down. I ain't all that sleepy, but I wanna lie down. Wanna lie down. Oh, what got the matter, baby? Yeah, I can't see. I can't see. Oh, what got the matter, baby? Yeah, I can't see. I can't see.
I was too little to have any sense when that man bought me, that Mr. Henry. He put me in the buggy to take me off. And I say to my mama and my papa, goodbye. I'll be back in the morning. And they feel sorry for me and they say, she don't even know what's happening.
I recollect one morning seeing a biscuit, and they decided to throw it out to the dogs. So I went outside right before the dogs and I got it. And I ate it. They acted like I wasn't gonna eat this biscuit.
I met many runaway slaves, fighting to free us. But all in all, they had a strong notion to see what it's like to own their own bodies.
While Master Jim was fighting them Yanks, the mistress, she fiddling around here with the neighbor man, Mr. Headsmith. Now, I was young then, but I knows Master Jim be mighty mad when he hears about this. Now, the mistress don't know I knows her secret and that I'm fixing to even up with her for some of them whippings she put on me. That's why the next time Master Jim come home, I says, you see that hole there in the wall? And he says, yes. I say, look just like an open door, put your eye real close to it. And he look in and he see the bedroom. I say, that's where I seen the mistress and Mr. Headsmith. And I sees him get mad. And he say, what you mean? And he grabbed me by the arm and say what you mean, girl? Like I'm trying to get away. I said, I see them in the bed. Well, Master the demon just get him and he tear out the room looking for mistress. Woo! Then I hear him loud talking. And then pretty soon, I hear mistress screaming, calling for help. It's good for her. And don't you know, right about then, old Master Ben come by and stop the fight. Master's so mad, I expect he about beat her to death.
Get 'em in, get 'em in. That sun is hot and plenty bright. Let's get on to business and get home tonight. Bid 'em in. Auctioning slaves is a real high art. Bring that young gal, Roy, she's good for a start. Bid 'em in, get 'em in. Now here's a real good buy on about 15. Her great-grandmammy was a Dahomey queen. Just look at her face, she sure ain't homely. Like Sheba in the Bible, she's black but comely. Bid 'em in.
My mother, she was always praying to the Lord. Even when she would take us out in the woods to pick up firewood. My mother we'd turn around and we'd see our mother, she would be on her knees praying. Then on the way back home, she would be wiping the tears, first from one eye, then taking the corner of her apron, wiping the other eye. Then when we would get back home, she would be praying again.
There was a song we used to sing, and I'm a teacher right here, right now. Here you go. Some folks say that a nigga won't steal. I caught two up in my cornfield. One had a bushel, one had a peck, and one had a bruise in the ears round his neck. That was a song my daddy taught me. My daddy taught me. My daddy.
Paul and Silas, bound in jail, had no money for to go their bail. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Keep your banana, then walked out. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
After peace was made, Master called us all into the room to tell us that he had something to tell us. He said that we was free now, just as free as he was. He talked to us just like we was his own children. With tears running down his cheeks, he said, Cindy, I raised you from a baby. And Henry, since you was a young man. I've tried to be good and treat you right and take good care of you in return for the good work you've done for me around here. And I want you to go out and be good citizens and make good in this world. Be honest and respectable. And don't turn away from the good raising you got from here. And remember that me and my wife loves all you.
My pappy, he had a stolen education. It was his mistress back in South Carolina. She helped him to learn how to read, how to write, before he left there. You see, in them days, it was against the law for slaves to learn how to read and write. Me? I ain't learned. Ain't feel the need. Scared to die if I did. But I just kept on doing as I told. I didn't want to get whipped. So if I knew if Master caught me good, that was going to be my dead day. I wasn't going to get up from there. So I works and I works. Ain't nobody, none of us, thought we was going to make it out them days. That man came by, told us we was free. They ain't know what to do. They ain't know we wanted to stay, where to go. But we knew that if we ain't left there, we wouldn't live. And ain't no way us niggas gonna let them white folks take our lives ever again.
I remember when the streets was full of folks walking, when the niggas were freed. See somebody in the streets, they'd ask, where's you going? Don't know. What you going to see about? Don't know. See a white man's in the street, he'd ask, hey, where's you going? We says, don't know. Maybe he says, well, hey, how about you come work on my farm? When the seasons come in, I'll give you some crops, some corn, 5 gallons of molasses, give you some clothing, and take care of you during the seasons. And I think, yes, that's what I's do. I's do that. And as time goes on, I's get to thinking. Just get to working after a while. And then I realize I ain't got to be a slave no more.
You see, I was born Christmas morning. It was 1840. Yeah. I was a full-grown man before I finally got my freedom. Before I got it, though, I helped a lot of other folk get theirs. Lord only know how many. It might have been much as 200 or 300. I know it was more than 100, I know that. See, I was born on a plantation that belonged to Mr. Jack Tabb. I was in Mason County, just across the river in Kentucky. Mr. Tabb was a pretty good man, but He used to beat us. I mean, he didn't beat us as much as others, but he still used to beat us, and so did his own kin people. Now, because I remember Mr. Tab was especially good to me. I mean, he couldn't get much work out of me because I didn't have it that way, even when I was right under his eye. He used to let me go around in the day and in the night so much, I came to be the one who carried the running slaves across the river. Now, Mr. Tab was a pretty good man, and he ain't had no kind of idea of the thing I was getting mixed up in. Till one special night, I had gone to another plantation. And you know I went over there. I was going over there cold. Well, I was going to this old woman's house, and she told me, she said, I got a pretty girl. I need you to take that girl across the river. And how was I going to take her? I got scared. I backed out in a hurry because I couldn't go across there knowing what'd happen and Mr. Tab catch me. But then I saw the girl. Baby, let me tell you, she was a pretty thing. I mean, they were brown skin and her lips was rosy and she was beautiful. You know, I said, Wasn't too long before I would listen to that old woman, and I was ready to take that girl across that river. Now, I don't ever know how I rode that boat across the river that night. The current was so strong, and even though I believed I could do it, my hands were just trembling. I mean, I know if they caught me, that it would be something I couldn't come up from. They would beat me mercilessly if I even live. But I rode. I kept rowing. I felt that girl's eyes. We just kind of looked at each other. We ain't even dare whisper. Yeah. I couldn't tell her how I was sure that Mr. Tab or some of his other folk was watching us as we went. So I just kept rowing. I'm going. I just knew Mr. Tab was going to find out. But I got up to the other side of the river, and before I knew it, I got back. And I was scared every day, thinking that somebody was going to find out what happened, but nobody did. And before I knew, I was rowing 2 and 3 and 4, sometimes 5 people a night across the river. Now, I know that I probably could have got free anytime I want. But I think things ain't so bad. And I can help others get free. And that's exactly what I did. I got others to freedom. Going on about 4 years. Yes, I did.
I think the time will soon be when people won't be looked on in regards as to whether they are black or white, but all on the same equality. I may not live to see it. I may not live to see it, but it is coming. Many people, they don't believe it. They don't see it. But I know it.
What's my name? That's not important. Just tell my people that I represent all of their people who didn't make it out of slavery. The ones who died hoping for something better, and the ones who risked their lives trying to make way for us. Our journey done started a long time ago, and it's far from over. But the journey of us carries the sweet spirit of all of us Negroes. That's why we always sing a good old song in the midst of our pain. Oh, freedom.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. Over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my own grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more weeping, don't you know? No